I'm Elizabeth Larkam with Balanced Body Pilates. I have so many clients who are squash players, avid squash players, or some are tennis players, some golfers. And I find that those clients that are involved in rotational sports oftentimes have an imbalance of the external rotators around their hip. So this is a movement sequence that I created for them. You can either have the short loop or the long loop around the sole of the foot. The short loop will increase the amount of force, the amount of tension. In this case, I have a red and a yellow spring on the hook on the lower deck of the Revo. Now, aiming the sacrum in neutral, you can check to see that the corners of the pubic bone are aimed down to the carriage, and with the thumbs at the navel, keep the pelvis level and steady, as if the pubic bone were a carpenter's level, with the little bubble of the level right where the symphysis pubis belongs. Maintaining external rotation, come across the torso, as if this knee were relating to that shoulder, and then externally rotating the leg, spiral out until the cord comes directly in front of your nose. Inhale to come across, exhale to extend, or exhale to bend. Inhale to extend. Now the same flight path is relevant in internal rotation. Maintain internal rotation and make sure that the hip doesn't hike along with that. So this ischium, this sitting bone to the opposite sitting bone, spiral inwards and the heel goes out. Sometimes I refer to this as martial arts mode to my clients, or kickboxing mode. The third variation alternates the first one, which is external rotation, as in ballet mode, turned out attitude front over crossed for the dancers, and then internal rotation with the martial arts kickboxing mode. And finally, the fourth variation is the third one in reverse. Inhale to bend, exhale to lengthen, or exhale as you come across, and inhale as you extend. In the advanced Allegro classes, the group reformer classes that I teach, we go directly from that PNF pattern that I just demonstrated into hamstring arcs. Hamstring arcs in parallel with hip joint in neutral, hamstring arcs in external rotation, and the hamstring arcs in internal rotation. And then immediately following that is the short spine stretch with just one foot in the loop, and that would be pike, hip flexion, and then aim the sacrum, the coccyx, up to the ceiling, coming to stand between the shoulder blades. Touch the medial borders of the feet together, and then bring each vertebrae, each rib ring, down onto the carriage, bringing the heels down with the pubic bone, and push out. After doing that with palms down, we'll take palms up, pike, aim the sitting bones up to the ceiling, standing with equal weight on both shoulder blades. Draw the heels towards the pelvis. Now you could either bring the pelvis and heels down at the same time, or leave the heels where they are. Unfurl the spine, bring the heels to the sitting bone and push out. Last two variations are arms wide to the side, pike. More abdominal control is required here when the arms are not available to help. Lift the sitting bones higher to the ceiling. Let the back of your lungs rest in the hammock of the rib cage. And the final variation would be arms straight up to the ceiling, palms towards each other. Peel the pelvis and spine right on up, as if you could unzip your spine from the very center of the carriage. Lift your sitting bones higher as you bend your knees, and bring the spine and the heels down together. So there you have it, a long movement sequence that enables you to access a lot of mobility around the hip, working through external and internal rotation. See you next time.